Hey Jane, so welcome back. I noticed that you were able to do some of the homework that I assigned over the weekend, so that's really good. You came with 2 of the first half of the thought log filled out. So why don't what situations did you come up with?
The 2 main ones right now is riding the elevator with other people I find awkward, and eating lunch with people at work. I still eat by myself most of the times.
Okay, and for the sake of time, which of those do you feel like is more pressing?
I think eating lunch would be more beneficial to get to know people at work.
Yeah, you get to kind of know people on your floor and stuff like that. So that's really good. Let's start with that.
Okay.
So looking at your thought log here, you indicated that your fear when thinking about that situation was like an 80%. So that's pretty significant. I can see how it would be very difficult to actually do that with that level of fear. And then you believe this hot thought that was, if I ask her lunch, then she'll reject me because I'm boring, or because she thinks I'm boring. So you put that you believe that pretty strongly. And so what we're going to do is, in these 3 columns, we're going to come up with some evidence that supports that hot thought, some evidence that refutes it, goes against it, and see where that takes us from there. So does that sound good to you?
Yeah, I could try that.
Okay. So first off, some evidence that supports this idea. So what do you think? Why is it that you feel like she would reject you or that you're boring?
Well, she did ask me when I first got there to eat lunch, and I rejected her because I was nervous.
Okay, so she has asked you before and you rejected her. So you feel like maybe because of that she would automatically reject.
Yeah, I just don't think that was a good first impression, maybe.
Okay, so maybe a bad first impression. You can write that there in that first column. Okay, perfect. So we've come up with a list of evidence for. So what about some things that maybe would go against this idea that she'll reject you?
Well, it's a little ironic, but because she did ask me before, so I think she would want to maybe eat lunch.
So she may want to actually get to know you. Okay, well let's write that down in this first in that 3rd column there.
Okay.
Any other pieces of evidence that maybe go against this hot thought?
Well, she eats lunch in the break room, and that's where most people go to get to know each other, and a lot of people eat lunch to get to know each other at work, so.
Okay, so yeah, she eats lunch in the break room. She may be open to talking to people during lunch, so why don't we write that there as well?
I think that's possible.
Perfect. So we've come up with some evidences for and against this hot thought. What we're going to do now is come up with some alternative thoughts. So what's kind of another way we could look at this if we take into account all this evidence?
Maybe she could reject me and think I'm boring, but it's more likely that she would want to go to get to know me.
Yeah, I like how you incorporated both pieces and you kind of put that positive spin. If we look at this evidence against, it's more likely that she'll want to get to know you.
Yeah.
So let's write that out here in this column under alternative thoughts.
So she might think I'm boring, but more likely she'll want to get to know me.
Perfect. And now when you read that, I want to ask, on a scale of 1 to 100, how much do you believe that alternative thought?
Maybe a 60%. I'm still worried that she'll think I'm boring, but
Sure.
I see with the evidence that she'd probably say yes.
Sure. So the whole goal of this was to kind of address our initial hot thought that you believed pretty strongly earlier, and that was causing you this 80 fear scale. What would you say your fear is now after completing the thought log?
I would say it's also a 60. Still,
Yeah.
I'm worried that I'd be boring, but I think she'd probably say yes.
Okay, so maybe in future sessions we can kind of work to differentiate these 2 ideas, but we can see how just lowering that fear even a little, now we might be more open to actually trying this in a situation. So we'll talk about that in the next session.
Okay.